You're muted.
Nice. Thank you, Krishna. So, hello everyone. Welcome to the Flatcar Developer Sync meeting. Yeah, I'll share my screen so that we can start with the. I guess this is the one. Yes. So, I'll hand over the mic to Tilo.
There are actual movements in the roadmap board today. Usually that board is pretty calm because, well, those are huge items and they take significant work. That's months or even years. So a long time ago, we had a roadmap item to move all of the Flatcar related repositories back into a single Flatcar org to kind of embrace the community driven nature of the distro. And that's the one I moved from no roadmap status to queued for release today, because we did that inadvertently when submitting our CNCF proposal. So that one's done. In progress, we're still iterating on the Flatcar build and release pipeline. There's a number of items, though this is more on the back burner for now. Updating of OEM-specific tools makes huge progress, and I would even check that one off as soon as we have initial updates of SysEx done. And that is a few weeks away, so that's amazing. Full alignment with Gentoo. I'm not even sure. Oh, Krajimir just fell off the bridge. There's Krajimir again. So full alignment with Gentoo. I'm not even sure this is a roadmap item or a continuous effort, because Gentoo, obviously being a modern and up-to-date distribution, is a moving target. So that's probably more like a line item by now than a roadmap item. So I leave this open until the next developer meeting in a month, and then maybe we just close it and declare this a line item. We have progress in deprecating torques in favor of systemd SysEx. There's a PR ongoing, it's almost done, probably a few days until it gets merged, that removes torques and uses systemd SysEx to ship a Docker image that is included in the operating system root. So that will be part of updates as well. Systemd SysEx and sysconfig is ongoing work, but right now we're more focusing on the implementation side than on driving upstream features forward. And composable image-based OS, I'll leave that to Kai. He has worked on an awesome roadmap for that. And he has more to say in the SysEx special projects later on. I see Krish joined. Krish, if you scroll up a bit, oh no, it's still there. Krish, do you want to say a few words on your work on the roadmap item of deprecating torques in favor of systemd SysEx?
Sure. Hi, can you hear me, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we are already making progress in deprecating TorqueX in favor of systemd SysEx. So currently, the CI is running for the PR to just make sure that everything's okay. And after that, that should be merged. And on removing torques completely, we need to also rewrite the mantle test. So that is something the community will have to work on.
Awesome. Thank you. And that's pretty much all I had for the roadmap review.
Thank you, Tilo. So I'll hand over the mic to Johanna now for taking over for Cluster API.
Hey, folks. So looking at the in progress column, first of all, 2 issues are absent. 929 has been merged, and therefore it's closed. That issue is prevent OS updates during image builds. My PR got merged, and yeah, it's off the table. 926 is the second one we're not seeing there from the previous meeting. It's documentation. Nobody's working on it, so I just moved it back to the backlog. Looking at 922 Magnum support, there is a PR open by a community contributor. We're waiting for a response there. There is some back and forth. There has been going some back and forth for a couple of weeks. So kind of slow, but still looks like work in progress. 930 race between kubeadm and containerd. I'm going to take this issue. It's been open for about a year with no significant progress. So I'll try to tackle that. Interesting sound effects. I don't know if other people can hear them. And where was I? 942 ignition version 3. So there are some interesting ongoing design discussions on Slack. Benjamin Gentile, I think maybe, or Gentle, maybe working on an initial PR. That's what I could gather from the discussion in which I didn't participate personally. So I think there is some work in progress there. At the very least, very interesting design discussions. 1061 updates using systemd sysext. Matthew is working on a POC as far as I know, so that's good. Both this issue and the previous one, Ignition V3, could be instrumental to tightening the integration of Flatcar with Cluster API in general, so that's very good, and I would say even strategic at this point in time. And finally, 939 Flatcar plus copy updates. There is some ongoing asynchronous discussion on Slack as well. I'm personally trying to figure out the next steps at the moment. So yeah, waiting for some updates from contributors. This issue is also related to the discussions we've been having with Vince regarding Flatcar plus copy integration. Yes, I think that's it. Nothing interesting in the proposed column at the moment because the most urgent and important issues have been moved to in progress. So yeah, that's it on my end.
Thank you, Anand. Anybody else wants to have any questions or comments? If not, then we'll move to Kai, who will be talking about systemd sysext roadmap board.
Yeah, so related to what was presented before, there was this idea of making a proof of concept where we show that you can kind of include all the Kubernetes binaries needed in one systemd sysext image, and then use this as addition to the plain Flatcar image to run a Kubernetes cluster based on Kapi. And Mathieu did this work, and so the next steps there would be to look into the publishing and hosting experience and how to update with this new sys update. And what we also have is a lot of new issues now in the plan column, and we also have milestone issues that are not shown in the board here, but they are like reachable through the milestones setting, milestones page in the issue.
Should I just go to that?
Like we can stay a bit in the board as well. So done, as I said, was having this new sysext builder now for Kubernetes, and currently in progress is building for talks as replacement for talks as was said previously as well. And also in progress is systemd upstream pull request to reload the daemon. So that's also almost merged, I would say. And okay. So we have new items in the planned column because we had this idea of making a larger roadmap item and then already create issues for the next steps to use sysext in 3 areas. That was also presented in the last office hours call. And so like we can also have a look at the milestones maybe now. If you can switch units. Okay. So not all of these have issues created, but most. So like one topic is that users can supply their own software. Another topic is that we use it for talks, and another one was this OEM topic. So these are 3 areas where we want to use SysX, and for users it has to be easier. So that's more like improving the story there. And in Flatcar, we are migrating the OEM software to SysX. And then we thought, okay, we also want to have additional Flatcar extensions that are optional SysX images that can be added in the provisioning, and they will be also updated through the AB update mechanism. And we listed a few of them here. For example, WASM would be interesting, Podman, Kubernetes maybe as well, and even ZFS maybe. And another milestone is also the generic upstream improvements that we also need to make it more usable in Flatcar, but also beyond Flatcar. Okay. Any questions? Like, if you want to work on one of these items, you can always ask me for tips how to get started.
I think we can move to the release section now. Yeah. So starting off with the releases from the previous month, we had stable releases and alpha releases. Alpha beta stable releases that happened over the last month. I'll share more in a few minutes. But you can go to the releases channel and see for the releases and along with the changelog. Now heading over to the pulse. So from now on, like, we will start giving a short kind of like a delta of what happened in the previous month in the team and in the repo. So we saw a good amount of security issues and package getting updated. As mentioned, we did 2 releases in the last week, and then a lot of the work around system DCSS has been happening. And then we had around 20 to 28 issues that has been created, which was a lot around like the work that has been going around SysX. And then there has been a couple of issues around the security and the CV fixes. And these updates are basically like the issues from the security stuff and the package updates. Now moving to the scripts repo. So here you can actually see the releases that happened. So we had a full-blown release in the last week, and then a small release of alpha, beta, and stable 3 weeks ago. And then we merged around 49 PRs over the last month, which is primarily around the package updates and update the kernel and stuff. And then we have 9 pull requests that is open. Like, we have the kernel builds that have to be closed. We have work in progress weekly update PR, which is kind of stuck with the issue, but it's in good progress. And then the CAPI work that has been doing, and then as mentioned by Chris and folks, create like talks. So this is kind of a summary of what happened over the past month. Now moving on to the implementation board. So we will be doing a release. So just to update, like good majority of the team will be gone during the month of August. So we are planning to do only one major release over the next month. And if you know, I mentioned earlier that our release cadence has kind of changed. Earlier we used to do bi-weekly, but now we have moved to a cadence where we will be doing 2 releases a month, one in the beginning and one towards the end. So we are planning to skip the second one, which would be essentially be a patch release. So the release. The next release would be happening towards the first in the first week of August, and that would happen for alpha, beta, and stable. And beta and stable would be seeing a patch release, and alpha would be seeing a major release. And then, as mentioned earlier, we are seeing like two in progress issues, which is around Cappy and Sysex. Folks, if and there's this work by Dongsu that is getting worked on. I actually moved around a bit, so folks, Benjamin, if you're on the call, maybe you can update a few of the issues with the status, what's happening, or you can maybe update on this call about how the PRs are looking, because I see it's been not updated for some time now. Is Benjamin on this call? Yeah.
Yeah, Christian is there.
Sorry, I have missed some question.
Yeah, so I was saying, like, if you see the in progress section, there are a couple of issues like this one.
The OpenSSH stuff is blocked on Gentoo actually. It's like I have filed an issue like over 2 weeks ago and got like an initial review.
Right.
But yeah, for now nothing happened there, so I'm just going to refresh the pull request and ask for another review. Just yeah, for now, like nothing going on here.
And then I will have the same
And this one,
Oh, you know, still ongoing. Oh
Still
no,
on.
this one put the rest of the system
This one is
packages.
I see this is blocked on 945. That is the
I
same
think I need to
mechanism.
update it, but I think that this can be closed. I'll check after the meeting, because I remember that you did a part, and yeah, I don't really remember this, if I have put the rest of the system packages or not. Because
Okay.
at some point I decided to stop blocking on OpenSSH due to Gentoo being slow into accepting my solution. So I think I did something else, but yeah, I'll try to refresh it after the meeting just to see what's going really on here.
Sure. Okay. Thank you. And then I guess these are.
There were also the Nebraska pull requests, so 2 external PRs are there, and then some Dependabot PRs too. And would be nice if we kind of find a pool of people interested in reviewing Nebraska PRs and maybe also working on some of the existing issues. Yeah, I did mostly backend stuff in Nebraska, but also shortly a bit of the front end stuff. But I guess it's better to reach out to other people for the front end, and like reaching out is easy. So it would be interesting to at least find somebody for the last pull request that opened and the one for the other Helm. Yeah, 2 about Helm charts. That's maybe the most interesting now. And of course, the Dependabot stuff as well. Yeah, these 2 about Helm.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know Helm stuff too much as well, but yeah, I don't know. Mathieu maybe also has some experience with Kubernetes deployments.
Yeah,
so
but
if you are interested.
tiny experiments, so yeah, I can have a look, but like you, I'm not the most qualified to do this.
Cool.
Anyone else interested?
For are these the front end things?
Yeah, most of them are front end, and
Okay.
like maybe there are even some automated back end bumps, but I guess mostly front end. And yeah, for that it would be like building, and then you check whether the front end still works, and that's it.
Yeah.
So like no one's working on Nebraska for now on daily basis. I remember like Joaquin.
Yeah, so it's so currently the team is working more on other projects. That's why it's like Nebraska is like any other Flatcar dependency project that we have in our org. So yeah, it's more like
Okay.
up on the
Understood.
core maintainer team now as well.
Yeah,
Understood.
I used to work a bit on Nebraska, but again, mostly on backend side because yeah, I tend to stay away from the front end stuff.
I think from the dependent back end version bumps, that's something that would be valuable. It probably is just waving through the new versions. Most of them are patch level increases. And I think most of them are security related. So having someone picking that up would be awesome. For the PRs, I'm not sure what the Helm chart updates look like. It seems like they're just adding features to the thing.
Yes,
So
that's the idea. Yeah, it seems to be only this, but yeah, someone needs to have a look.
yeah. And we even
And
have
one
someone,
was already tested, so that's already
we
that's
even
where-
have someone else from the community reviewing and testing that and signing off on it. So that's nice.
Cool. I think like let's get someone. I mean, we can have a discussion on Matrix and see if someone is interested, and then if not, then we discuss in the next Flatcar dev sync. Okay. So and then we had this one as well, which is kind of for some time now. Maybe Kajim, you can look after the meeting on how's the status for this one. For this issue.
I think I don't remember this one actually. Oh, this is about the nightly builds that are not targeting to the main branch when you are doing the two-phase builds in CI on every Friday.
Right.
Yeah, I think there was like a pull request in Jenkins that would need to be merged first.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I think rest of the things are in good progress. Yeah, so the upcoming focus would be around like I see mostly like the package updates that have security concerns, and then as Kai mentioned the PRs from Nebraska, and then we have the work around the package updates. So yeah, those are like kind of in progress and in focus, but like it depends. It will move from in progress stuff if it's or like be in upcoming. But yeah, so moving to the releases, as I mentioned, like we would have the next release on 7th of August, which is and we will do a release on alpha beta stable. The plan is around the pushing weekly updates and getting more packages into it. As you see that it's again a beta and a stable version that is getting a patch release. Yeah, that's mostly from my side. Just one thing I want to discuss before leaving off with the team. So the next developer sync meeting, I'll stop sharing my screen. So the next developer sync meeting is planned for around like the same time, 25th or 22nd of August. So how's I'm just looking at the team availability on how is it. Are most of the folks around?
I will be not.
I'd
Okay.
probably be off as well.
Okay. So in that case, like I'll check on how's the team availability, and maybe if the attendance is low, then we might skip the next developer sync, or it all depends on how many folks are there.
Yeah. Good point.
Anything to
Same probably with the office hours in early August, right?
Right. Anything else that I forgot to ask, but anything else that had to be added for the release planning? Things need to be considered that needs to be considered for the next release.
I have a question about Docker version. So
Yeah.
currently we are Docker 20, quite old and already end of life, and upstream Docker is already 24, and every fix is going to be published only in the new version of Docker. So it is probably a time to upgrade, but is anyone is working on Docker 23 or 24?
So not really working, but because I was interested in giving the whole sysx thing a run, I actually did a spike and just, wildly added dependencies and whatever else is needed to support Docker 24 on the Docker sysx. And what can I say? It worked out. So if anybody wants to pick this up, it will probably be a pretty straightforward experience. I didn't encounter much friction.
I was actually sorry. I was actually waiting for the torques being ripped out, because that would make it much easier to update Docker, and actually maybe even move it to portstable, because right now it needed some customization just for the torques. So yeah, once we get torques out, and yeah, I can have a look at the updating the Docker. It should be quite easy, as Tiro says. Chris, you wanted to say, take
Yeah.
voice.
So my latest PR, which is to merge, basically remove torques and migrate to systemd sysx. So that should take care of updating the version as well, right? Because as if we update the version of Docker, I think I'm not sure what it is in my branch, then it should just work because we're shipping it as a sysx. Does that make sense?
Yep, thanks.
Yeah,
Cool.
absolutely. And I actually used the very early version of your PR for my playing around with Docker 24.
Cool. Is there anything else that needs to be added? Yeah, Krish?
For my internship blog, I wanted to take a group picture of the whole team. Can we do that?
Yeah, sure.
It's an amazing idea.
So just smile, everyone. And
You are muted.
yeah, just 1 second. Sorry. Yeah. So just smile or pose. Yeah, I got a picture.
Thank you. So I guess that's the end of it. And yeah, so good. So thank you everyone for joining. Have a nice rest of the day, and see you in, if we are having that meeting, see you in a month or see you in September. See you.
Ciao.
Bye, folks. Thank you.
Bye. Thanks.